Don't worry about a thing. Now, 17 minutes gone past the hour. Let me ask you my first question of this holiday. Now, do you think some crimes should carry heavier punishments than they currently do right now? Once again, let me repeat. Do you think that some crimes should carry weightier or heavier punishments than they currently do? Now, the Rivers State Police Command says its operatives attached to the anti-cultism unit have arrested a car snatcher, recovered stolen vehicle, and master keys. Now, spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringe Koko SP, said that the suspect, identified as Mr. Felix, was arrested during a routine patrol along Abacha Road in GRA while riding a bicycle, of all things. And upon conducting a search on him, 7 master keys were recovered. Now, the spokesperson said the suspect was immediately taken into the station for further questioning. And she said during interrogation, a red Hyundai Sonata, earlier stolen, was recovered from his residence. She also said that the suspect has made useful statements and has named other members of his gang operating in Delta, Edo, and Lagos states. An investigation is ongoing to arrest other members of the gang. Now, I'm very pleased about that report. I know there are a lot of skeptics and a lot of cynics out there, but credit must be paid to where it is due. Sometimes, the police, and this happens all over the world, will stumble upon, certain crimes and they're able to make arrests. And I think this is one of such cases. Kudos to the team who were able to identify that something was not quite right. All well and good. But when I read this story last week, and I'm not talking about the car snatching alone, it got me thinking. People have complained so much, particularly in this country, in the past decade, about kidnapping. In some states, I hear that they said, look, if they catch you kidnapping, they should just immediate punishment, life imprisonment or capital punishment. And then I went online and looked at some of the crimes that you can commit in this country. I'm not saying you should, but you can. And then if you are caught, you will face some muski for them. Now, financial crime, for example, okay, issuing a forged check and all of that. You know that this check is bounced, but you still signed in a bid to let the person off the hook. It's a crime. Tax evasion, pipeline vandalism, all of these are crimes, right? Now, a financial crime, you could get 14 years in prison or a fine, or in some cases, both, depending on the judge. Advance fee fraud, aka 419, a financial crime punishable, once again, by 14 years in prison or a fine or both. Money laundering, all right? The sentence is 7 to 14 years in prison and a fine. Interesting. Bribery and corruption, what many Nigerians are very apt at doing, is punishable by 3 years in prison. 3 years. So a lot of the policemen along the roads in Port Harcourt are culpable. A lot of the keke drivers, a lot of the bus drivers, a lot of the taxi drivers, a lot of you private residents are culpable. 3 years in prison. That's what the crime is. But, did you know that in this country, the Constitution prohibits torture, and the Anti-Torture Act imposes a penalty of up to 25 years imprisonment for perpetrators? There are legal safeguards against arbitrary arrest, detention, and mechanisms for oversight of the Nigerian police force. So what this means, right, is that if a police officer is actually caught, what we have termed police brutality in this country, and actually tried, he could actually face 25 years. But is that enough? Or do you think it should be more for all of these crimes I've just listed? Any crime that you know the punishment, call me. Tell me, that is this. Okay, you think it should be more or you should be less. Let us know why.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
On 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Numbers to call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. Now, the WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. As always, please do well, turn down the volume of your radio set and refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments, please. We have Patrick on the line from HA. Let's get to say good morning to you. Good morning, Patrick, and join the conversation.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, please.
I'm Mother Patrick and calling from my friend HA.
Please go on.
Do you know that these people that commit offense, they are aware that when they commit an offense, they know what their fine will be. And they are feeling that fine is nothing to them. And that is why they know what their penalty will be. They also still go to commit the same offense. They will say after all, it's not for me to fail this warrant. To my own suggestion, I suggest we should increase the fine. Like the man that went to snatch a
cars.
He has seen that even if the person is only for him to go to cell or to go to prison, his people will also bear him. So I suggest, if such a thing should come to happen again, the offense should increase so that he will suffer and not to repeat it again.
So instead of spending 5 or 10 years, they should increase it to 20 years.
It should increase 20 years and...
okay.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
One day now.
Temperatures of about 25 to 27 degrees is expected throughout the day. Partly sunny, but at the moment it is a drizzle within this part of Port Harcourt. I hope you're all staying nice and dry, hopefully, wherever you are. It's a holiday, by the way, so do find the time, to bond and, improve your connection with your loved ones at home. Now, whilst you're at home, or those of us who are at work, please, I have a question for you. Do you think, right, that the punishments that for crimes right now, do you think they should be increased or they should be left the way they are? And speaking of, living things as they are, well, are we living things as they are? Oh, no, because following from the huge success of the mega draws on One Play last week, over the weekend, it was a great time for a lot of you. Well, it's going to continue because every ticket you get on One Play, that's when you get to oneplay.ng, right? Or you use the code that's *347 *880 *6# grants you an entry into the jackpot that will happen again this weekend. Again. All right. So 500 for every ticket you get. What are you waiting for? The more you get, the more your chances of winning, materialize. But let's get back to the conversation. We'll talk about One Play later when I do my first draw. Right. So if you are a thief and you're caught, let's say for petty theft, right? Should it still remain maybe, a fine? Or maybe 6 months in jail, or 1 month, or 1 year, or 2 years, or should it be increased? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your conversation station.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
On 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Well, this is Zion standing by from GRA. Good morning to you, Mr. Zion. Happy holidays.
Jude, good morning.
Good morning to you.
If you like, say it's 100 years imprisonment, it will never deter them.
It wouldn't, you sure?
If the level at which we benefit from crime and criminality in this country, it will make us not to fight crime or deal with the issue of crime. A few weeks ago, when the symposium and topic like this was brought, what can we do to stop crime in the society? People here talk of, thank you very much, spoke a lot. Jude, when the mic was handed over to me, and I want to say what I said there, when they are caught and convicted of that crime, don't only prosecute or punish the offender, look for his father and his mother also and punish them. If the father and the mother are late, go and exhume their graves. Let them stand at trial. Their uncle that is alive, punish that uncle also.
Isn't that extreme? Doesn't that sound like totalitarianism?
It's not extreme.
It sounds like totalitarianism.
Guide our fathers.
Did it now?
You know that in those days there were no police station here. They don't commit crime. From Patani to Adadabri to Sagama to Kolowari to Kabiama, there is no police station. Nobody commit this kind of crime we commit today. But today, no. Punish who commits the offense. The father and the mother have already saved money to come and bail you.
But that's what the law is. The law doesn't grant for people to be punished for crimes that they don't commit.
It's the law. Re-amend it for Y2K compliance, for a global recognition. You are not ready to fight crime now.
But I don't know of anywhere on this planet, right? Particularly in the modern time.
Fight crime.
Wait, Zion. I don't know of any American. I don't know of any British or South African law.
Leave those all the came British. Leave them. This is Africa here. Were you not here that they put a law? If you are caught as a kidnapper, they will demolish your building, put you 40 years and many years imprisonment. I want to ask you, tell me stop kidnapping. You were here that kidnapped Soju. Were you not here? We are looking at punitive measures to stop crime. But we cannot put this kind of law. You know why? We are benefiting from Crime and Criminal Act. As we are talking, people who are buying stolen cars are waiting to follow the criminal. Oh, but I not smashing the car yesterday. To bring and come. How far you don't collect any phone, when you will bring an idea, wait for you. Let's be honest to ourselves. Punish the father and the mother.
But Zion, hold on, Zion. Let me ask you this question. This is a very honest question, and I'm not trying to be controversial here. But don't you think if such laws were amended into what we now currently practice, don't you think abuse will occur? People can be framed. Wait, hold on. People can be framed wrongly. I can accuse you and put paper and say you are the one that carried this paper. Instead of you not to carry paper, you carried it. And then they will now jail Zion and jail Zion's parents and jail Zion's family. That's unfair.
I not trial. Won't I stand trial?
Like I said, I have framed you. I have all the evidence. That we've seen stories like this where people were framed.
The factor is there. They can frame you, bribe the police. The police will say, sorry to you. We have seen it. But we have our ancestral way of fact finding. Fact. There's a way we fact checked in our African culture and tradition. Before a base, I stand and I protest myself. Can you stand it? Go and prosecute my parents. Now, won't I come out? Won't I come out about before the Holy Base say, look, this is what I did not do, since we not fear God again. God said, thou shalt not go to the 10 commandments. If you can uphold it, my brother, I don't need to be afraid.
Hello, Zion.
We are not true
to
ourselves. We know they fear the church. We know they fear the 10 commandments. Even the Juju now, some of us, they even bribe them, but there are some that you cannot bribe. And we are talking about dealing with criminal acts. Say no, punish only the person. Go to Port Harcourt, only the person see there, the parents outside to go visit them. If he criminals, nobody can come tell me.
Yeah, but that's because maybe that person whose parents are coming to visit him is innocent. Is waiting trial. Patrick is on the line from a chair again. Patrick, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, Jude, good morning.
Good morning, please.
I did not conclude my call. That's why I called back.
Apologies.
Yes, I'm Adi Patrick. I'm calling from my friend chair. In this case, my suggestion is Nigeria law should be amended so that some things will be added on it. Do you remember in the olden days when you commit a crime or you steal something, they will naked you in the community? You witness a high rate of crime in that time.
Yeah, but such punishments are seen as barbaric and archaic. Why would you want to devolve to such levels of barbarism?
Because we have crept to another level. That is why you see very commitment here and here. Everybody commit offense, saying that after all, if permit to be arrested, that will be bailed out. But once you parade them around the community, you will see that shame will never end. And anytime they remember it, they will not like to commit such offense again. I suggest Nigeria should review the law and the order that is burdening criminality in Nigeria. That is my opinion now. Let me draw insight to my community where I come from, Afara Eche. Precisely, I am the youth leader of that community. There was an offender that they telephoned to my office. I told them, I will not send you to police. What I will do is to assemble you to a playground. We will have to flog you and we will parade you around. And I want to tell you, after we have done that, that young man, whenever you remember that we paraded him and his friends saw him, that he have still something, he have changed from his attitude. What about if you are sending to police? What they will do is to bury him there. He will come back and be knocking down in the community. I am telling you now that his ego his sentence has been less because there's nothing he will say. Everybody has seen that they have committed the offense. So let Nigeria law be reviewed for an amendment. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Patrick from Afara Echi. Now, good morning, Jude. Kudos to the Nigerian Police Force Delta Branch. Oh, really? What do you do? Imagine if it was being in Port Harcourt, where our policemen's attention is solely after commercial drivers for their stipends. This thief would have ridden past their checkpoint uncaught. This apprehended thief obviously has been in the business or being part of a team of thieves and should be punished based on the number of master keys. It was in Port Harcourt, oh. My brother, I don't think you heard me correctly. Let me read let me read the news story one more time, please. The Rivers State Police Command says its operatives attacked the anti-cultism unit, arrested a car snatcher, recovered stolen vehicles and master keys. Spokesperson of the command, SP Grace Iringe Koko, said that the suspect, identified as Mr. Felix, was arrested during a routine patrol along Abacha Road in GRA while riding a bicycle. And upon conducting a search on him, 7 master keys were recovered. It was not in Delta State. It was in Port Harcourt, please. Who sent that message? Ibims. Please, it was in Port Harcourt. So, once again, that's why I said we need to give credit to where credit is due. It was the River State Police Command, or the men under the commander actually caught this particular person. That has led us to this conversation. All right, so let me continue. It says, if the penalty is 10 years, for instance, times the number of keys that were found for causing pains in the lives of citizens, which may possibly have been killed. Ibims is saying. Okay, so Ibims is saying, look, if that crime leads to a death, please punish him for longer. Make it 10 times. Okay, all right. Benson Oluwabemiga from Akure, Ondo State says, Jude, the sentences is more just staking it higher. Learned people, lawyers, will find a way of taking offenders off the hook, knowing quite well that these offenders are guilty of the crime. The law enforcement officers should not be pulled towards the media judgment. They most oftentimes do not do proper investigation before prosecuting their cases. That amounts to the way they lose most of their viable cases. Benson has a good point here. It has to be stated that, a lot of the times it's very, and I've seen this happen also, in other countries, criminals or people who are accused of crime, let's not call them criminals, people who are accused of crime, right, are very often let off because of technicalities. The law is there to cover for most eventualities. So if the law says when you catch the criminal, you must, file paper A, B, C. Now, if you bring it to the court and you only filed paper A and B, the lawyer has every right to say, file C wasn't done, that this process of prosecuting this man is flawed. Please let my client go. Boom. And it happens. So, Benson has a good point. The law enforcement needs to also up their game in making sure the processes of arrest are followed by the book. Well, back to the phone lines now. 08179230002, 08179230007, 08179230002, 08179230007. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH. Then let's take the streets down to WhatsApp. It's 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. All right, Ezekiel from Rumudara says, good morning, Jude. I think this is the major problem with us as a country. We are still looking at crime from the punitive measures instead of looking at it from the preventive measure. more emphasis, more technology would help in preventing crimes. If we have crime preventing measures that are up to date, we would not be thinking of either increasing the number of years. In fact, we are living in a society where just going through your social media page can help the government to know if you are likely to commit a crime. And so if you want to, you commit that crime, you face the full weight of the law. More technology is needed. More CCTVs should be CCTVs. Ezekiel, where now? Where you want put them? I'm sorry, that took me totally by surprise. where do you look? It's a great idea, Ezekiel, but where? Maybe this is what this security agents should be looking at or listening to. Okay, because more CCTV should be put out on the streets and in certain areas where crime frequently happens. It would deter crime. All right, Ezekiel, Spiff is on the line. Oh, there. Spiff from Artillery, please do call back. So drop call scenario. Ezekiel says CCTV, closed circuit camera television. I know in the UK it works. Almost everywhere in America these days is covered, particularly the very big metropolitan places. New York, California, Houston, for example. There are lots of cameras everywhere, street cams are everywhere. But those things work. First and foremost, they have power. Ezekiel, I'm not saying your idea is bad, but prevention, just maybe, Ezekiel is onto something here. Maybe what we should be looking at right now is prevention of crime and not punishment of crime. Maybe. I'm leaning. I don't know. I'm leaning. Anyway, that's why we have this kind of conversations. All right. Good morning, Jude. To me, resorting to our old traditional ways of oath-taking remains the best way. Though some deities can be bribed, are you serious? But there still abound a number of these deities that cannot be compromised. Criminals should be made to swear to an oath, and if found guilty, they face whatever the consequence of that crime would be. Manoski, with that comment. All right, so we have somebody calling us on the WhatsApp line. Once again, please. That line is not for the reception of calls. It's strictly for messages, please. WhatsApp messages in particular. So if you want to speak to us, please use the number 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. This one here says Ezekiel says, put camera for where? For here? My brother's got teeth, sell about scrap. Oh, that's another concern. Where do you put them? Okay, all right. Back to the phone lines, all right? 0817 0002. 0817 0003. All right, we have Ogochukwu who's on the line. I'd like to get to hear his thoughts this morning. Ogochukwu is speaking to us from D-Line. Ogochukwu, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ogochukwu.
Good morning.
Welcome. Go on, please.
Yes. I say, this case of a team charging to court, calling lawyers, sometimes we try peace and forgiveness. It's also justice.
Okay.
If you are calling lawyers, you're calling your judges.
Okay.
You end up ending in court without.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Sometimes forgiveness is also justice. Didn't expect to hear that, but hey, it's not bad. It's not a bad idea, really. It really isn't a bad idea. Okay, we have a caller from Oyigbo. Ogochukwu Oyigbo, good morning to you.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I hear a caller talking about CCTV.
Yes, Ezekiel in Port Harcourt said we should look at crime prevention, not at crime punishment.
to be honest with you, that is a perfect outcome. And everything must not be from the federal government or from the state government to install CCTV. If a person is rich enough to build houses worth millions, we can actually have a law that will when we mandate CCTV maximum 10,000.
I hear it's about 80 to 100,000 naira these days, oh.
You say?
I hear it's about 80 to 100,000 naira these days.
That's what I'm saying. But to have millions plus.
Oh, hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. We lost you for a few seconds.
Okay. Every building is mandated to have at least one CCTV at its gate.
Okay.
It's going to help a lot. Let it be a law. Let it be against. You understand?
Okay.
Which said, if Mr. Ed will capture the current thing, he can capture it.
Ogochukwu from Oyigbo, apologies. The connection from your, or from, I don't know if it's our end or from your end, isn't great. But yeah, he seems to agree with Ezekiel, who says, look, we should look at prevention rather than punishment when it comes to crime. Okay? Yeah. All right. Okay. That's why we have these kind of conversations, isn't it? Right? All right. Okay. 0817923 is the caller here. 08179230002. 08179230007. All right. I think that will be my final caller, and I'll read these messages that come through on the show. Spiff is on the line again. Let's get to say hello to Spiff this morning. Spiff, rather, speaking to us from Artillery. Spiff, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning, Spiff.
Yeah, how are you today?
Very well. Go on quickly, please, Mr. Spiff.
Okay, so Uncle Steve. Yes. Please, Jude, if I may ask, what causes crime? What is the cause of crime in a society?
What is, though?
Yes. What makes people to engage in crime?
That's a good question.
Please, let us be honest to ourselves in this country. This country, the children now we are talking of, that is the leaders of tomorrow. We have infected them with different crimes, and it can never be controlled in this country. The elders in this country, they have betrayed this country. They have rubbished this country with lies, different crimes, and the children are learning fast. They are learning fast. So, to tell me that you will not punish somebody who commits a crime and feel that the person will stop, it is a lie. Let us not be deceiving ourselves. It cannot work. Yes, we say we are civilized, but crime is increasing.
So we should increase the punishment, Spiff, basically. We should increase it.
We are just deceiving ourselves with law. Law this, law that, law this, law.
All right, let's go on the break, please.
Nigeria Info will be right back.